you're looking at Bitcoin though, and we're looking at from a discretionary standpoint, let's first get that overview. And we've had the resumption out of this was the last time something was wrong. If you remember over here, we jump back and we talked about, it was April the 10th. And we're like, I think one of these is likely wrong. And that's when the pullback began. We have resumed out of it, and we are currently consolidating right around the yearly high. We would like to see a breakout and a move into this region, the next region that we said on the resumption out of the pullback. For this to be a healthy market, we want to see the next leg up, and that's got to come somewhere between 32.5 and 34 in that area. It doesn't mean it has to stop there. We would love to see a breakout further, because if we break out above there, then we're going to be getting, honeymoon type days. It's going to be really nice to see, but we're still consolidating here. You could see that we have this line. As long as we maintain and price maintains above it, it was tested again this morning. That's good news. You could see the horizontal line right above it, and price right now is above it, and that's good. And I felt like extending this line out, because as long as we're above that as well, like we could easily test into that line of what was resistance and now should be support. And even if we lost this area, it's still okay, right? It's losing here. At that point, I think that we could be in jeopardy of rolling over for a deeper test. And I hope we don't have to see what that looks like, but we'll be ready for it if we do. But if I clone this line up, actually, I see that that's actually a nice touch. You can see this was resistance. It's been touched the support once. So this is likely what we want to see hold more than this bottom line down over here. This bottom line, I wonder if not, where was the last coming down over it? What I'm doing here is I'm looking for the support here. Again, that was support, resistance. We did break above it, but then it was, again, resistance. So that's probably more accurate as far as the low side that we could go if we were to break down even further. I'm going to go ahead and just put that as a little line like that. And if we zoom out over here and we also look at Ethereum and what is taking place. And so Bitcoin looks a little bit healthier, in so much that Bitcoin has been able to take out that yearly high from April, right? I mean, has it closed above it? Yeah, this was the highest close of the year. Now, Ethereum put out in that high in that same area and has put in thus far a lower high. So that's not so bullish. So Ethereum here, I just am pointing out that it does look weaker than Bitcoin in as much as we are making, instead of a higher high, a lower high. And that's bad news anyway. If Bitcoin were to just take out the high and then roll over, and by roll over, I mean take out our US banking crisis, our SEC versus Binance, Coinbase, saved by BlackRock. Like, these are two major events on the touches of this trend line. Right? So if we were to have another one and that were not to hold, then at this point in time, that would be not such a good deal over here. And we don't have to worry about that today. And we kind of have our awareness about us of when we would. So we could back off of that in a moment. But Ethereum does not look as good as Bitcoin yet. Things could change really quickly. I showed you last summer and things were not looking good last summer. If you come into the summer of July of 2022, and wow, just coming off of 8 months of relentless down movement, and people here, obviously this looks very bearish, and then out of nowhere, because it's very similar to what's happening right now in a way. And if I look at this over here, and you could see that, and by the way, in these narrow ranges, looks like strong downtrend, all sell side. And then when you start plateauing out, all of a sudden, short side and buy side, and then out of nowhere, buy side entry, taking out a 52% gain of the market. And it's very similar right now in so much as that, well, we are coming into an area here where we have this inner line, the outer line, and we are coming into and getting close to where we're going to have a resolution of that. And if we looked at yesterday, if it were on the upside, why last summer we put in that 52% gain? Wasn't it close to like 100% unrealized at one point? But very quickly we could have and see a similar move take place. And we talked about, or I talked about, if it were to break out, how that could take us into that area of resistance that we're looking at on this higher time frame very quickly. But it also goes for the other side as well. I mean, if we break down, we could put in, if we were to break down over here, we could, and that's what we're coming to. We're coming to a point in time where we should have that massive contraction leading to a massive breakout or breakdown. But on both sides over here, you could kind of see of what those expectations could potentially be. And, I root for the upside. I hope it's to the upside. And I like it much better when we're participating here on these beautiful up moves and extensions, right? But we never know. So, light and sweet today, because there is a lot going on.